Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Prairie Banana here. We're going to be talking about PTGC and UFO on Pulse Chain, which is about to go vertical. And if you're in crypto, that's very exciting. That's like a blatant way of saying it's go time. So we do spaces right here on my YouTube channel. I gotta find it on my phone. So if you'll just bear with me 1 second, and you're gonna want to listen. If you're on Pulse Chain, you're going to want to hear what we're up to today. It's going to be a community chat. Usually, it's pretty good, especially when things are green. Right now, got to pull it up. Good evening, Josh and Lemonade. Sometimes it's troublesome, you know. And kind of refresh my phone here. We would have troubles on a day like this, you know. Let's see, checking my messages. For messages, no messages. That's good. Let's see. I closed that out already. I know I can go to the Telegram and bounce off of that one. 1 second. Maybe that will get me in. There we go. Good evening. Some reason had a little bit of trouble getting into the space tonight. How's everyone doing?
What's up, Banana?
Listen, man. We've never been closer to Pulse Chain going vertical. Never been closer.
Yeah, it feels like it's right there. I can feel momentum shifting in the last couple days. I've seen some KOLs kind of popping out of nowhere saying that they're going to leave BNB, they're leaving Solana, and they're coming over to Pulse Chain because Richard's just pretty much made it a simple layup at this point.
Yeah. Do you want to hear my theory on that I just learned like 20 minutes ago? I could be off. It's just a theory, just for a data point. I think that, and I think those KOLs may have been paid, and that's okay. Like I was thinking about it on my way into my office. I'm like, okay, we pay for marketing material. We pay for, to have it distributed and all that stuff. We got to pay the fee to get into the Gray's currencies. You got to pay for a lot of stuff in life. There's nothing wrong with paying KOLs. If that's what happened and we got a little pump out of it, I'm all for it. I'm not saying that is what happened, but that's just what I've been hearing from a couple different people. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I was talking to someone kind of about that earlier in a different context, not necessarily paying them. Maybe someone paid them to promote Pulse Chain, which would be awesome if a community member paid them to promote Pulse Chain because they have large communities. But influencers are in the game of making money off of this industry, not so much really in investing in it, which is like a news flash to a lot of people, right? Like the amount of value that a lot of like KOLs have actually invested is a lot different than how much they're actually earning off of it. It's like their business, it's their job. This is how they pay their bills, etc. Promoting projects, etc.
Yeah.
But what they do help is it helps bring in actual real investors, right? And the actual inflow of real investors is what Pulse Chain needs right now. Pulse Chain needs new users. It needs some fresh capital coming over. It needs some fresh users that are getting a fresh new experience, not people that have, been here for 2 years and kind of feel somewhat exhausted. Fresh new investors coming over the bridge. Well, that value has to go into Pulse before it goes into anything. Even if it wants to go into most, if it wants to go into PTC, if it wants to go into PDI, it doesn't matter where it wants to go. It has to go into Pulse Chain first. So anyone coming over that bridge is getting Pulse Chain, and that's increasing the value of everyone's token. That's increasing the value of the network. That's boosting morale for everyone. So yeah, however we're bringing in new users to PulseChain, if that's through KOLs, if that's through in real life marketing, if that's through green candles, from big people that are already here, like Richard, however we go about winning, or that's through every single community member of PulseChain trying to onboard one person to their favorite project.
PTDC and UFO, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been hearing about people onboarding others, well, for a couple weeks now. I heard of a couple more today. I had some people on my mind. I still need to get the lady across the hall, and I've got a friend, another friend that I would like to get into. He's crypto curious, but like technologically illiterate. Probably, and he doesn't need, I don't even know if he has a smartphone, but he knows I'm into crypto. He's always asking me about it. I'm like, man, he's a good candidate. I mean, I wouldn't even have to twist his arm. It's just, hey man, I'll walk you through this thing if you're interested. And he would be like, let me think about it overnight. And the next day he'd be in.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually sent out 3 texts this weekend, also just checking in with a few buddies. As you get older and life goes on, you sometimes go a while without checking up on people. So I was mainly checking up on them, saying what's up, and then let them know, like, hey, if you're interested, because they asked, like, hey, how's business doing? How's this doing? So I kind of filled them in. I said, hey, if it's something that interests you, I'd be willing to kind of give you the quick rundown and show you the projects that I like, and one of them said, like, hey, I'll throw in 1,000, which 1,000 isn't much, but he's someone that, and I haven't got him in yet. I still have to schedule time to sit down with him, but he's someone who I think will dabble a little bit and watch it. And if he has a great experience right off the bat,
okay,
like let's say PTGC keeps going up, I think he's someone that will constantly DCA. He's a really hard worker in real life. He has his own business. He's a great people's person. It's a smaller business, so a lot of it is in real life relationships. He would be a great onboard.
Awesome.
If he puts some value here and it does well for him, then he DCAs. I honestly think this guy, will start to understand and then also really like the product. And like I said, he's a great people person, and I think we'll have a great community member onboarding more people in real life. He's like that kind of person. So I'm working on that one right now. It's a small one to start, but I think it could turn into just an awesome in real life community member.
Yeah. He might be one of those guys that we never see in Telegram or on Spaces on Twitter.
I wouldn't bring him into social media. This would be like an in real life one that we would never even know, but he might onboard. This is why I'm putting such a big emphasis on this. This is what I think we need. I think this is what successful crypto tokens need. Obviously, 99% of them don't need it because they're dying anyways. They were never designed to succeed. They're just designed to get money out of you. But the ones that have been designed to be real great assets, they don't need to even have anything to do with social media. We can have an army of in real life people that don't even know that we sit on these spaces and educate on social media. Like, he could DCA, let's say $5,000 himself, but he could maybe get 10 other people in with $1,000 each or something like that. And that's where I think we'd have a lot of. I still think this is the piece that all of us need to focus on for as long as PulseChain is down at these levels, because I just feel like it's such a good entry point down here for friends and family. It's very little risk. I look at like where PulseChain is right now. It's literally a third of the price that most people paid 4 years ago. And you were saying this at the beginning of the spaces, like we've never been closer to PLS going to all-time highs. We've never been closer. Every day we go in the right direction. So
yeah. Sorry, I'm rearranging the furniture over here a little bit. Kind of distracted.
Yeah.
But,
So yeah, I was kind of stoked on that one. I don't know when I'm going to get it done. Have to meet up with them and everything, and walk them through it. But I did tell them, hey, your first thing is to get a Coinbase. Get that process started. Let me know when you're done. And like I said, it's small now to start, but it could, equal DCAing, and then also could equal a good in real life onboarder as well.
Yeah, I mean, if he's in sales, and even if he's not, he's in business, he's a people person. If his first 2X, he's gonna be telling everybody, man. And we'll have a lot of people that are never on the Telegram or on the Spaces, which is just fine. It's actually a very safe. It's much safer way to approach crypto, anyhow. So I'm excited to hear more about him whenever you have more news. Yeah, I was gonna bring one buddy in. And he was all excited and everything. And like the next day, man, he was like, oh yeah, well, you know what? I realized I've got all these other investments and it would just add to my complexity. And I'm like, your wife talked you out of it, didn't she? 100%. I didn't actually tell him that, but his wife talked him out of it because she's just a classic kind of I can tell. And I like both of them. They're friends of ours. Very traditional conservative investor. I just know when he told her about crypto, she's gonna be like, what, honey? Nuh-uh. Oh, well.
Yeah. I think even for like those kind of people, we almost have to take it to like, hey, it's, possibly a vacation. A vacation nowadays costs $1,000. It just does. Gas, flights, whatever. Yeah, you might be giving up a vacation or, some casino money. However, someone needs to justify it in their head, but they don't have to do a crazy amount. That's why I think this space is so unique, especially with products like PTDC and even PLS. Even a small amount can change into life-changing amounts of value, especially if they're willing to hold on for the long term. If they could just set it and forget it for a little bit, and actually be able to experience this protocol 5-10 years later, like I'm sure a lot of people have done with in real life investments. But I think, a small amount of value could turn into a large amount of value, and that large amount of value could actually start turning some decent passive incomes in the future.
Oh, yeah. Huh. One of my buddies, he's a crypto guy anyhow. He's on Pulse Chain, but he got into PGDC a couple weeks ago. And he was in our chat today. He's like, man, I went and checked my wallet. I've got all this extra PTGC in there suddenly. I'm like, that's how it works, man. And he was really excited. And I'm excited for him. I'm excited for anybody. I'm kind of kicking myself because, like a million PTDC is only $200, but a lot of people can afford way more than, a minimum just in case bag of a million PTDC, but I'm happy for anybody that at least that's why I keep bringing it up. Like because we've done the math, if you only get 1 million, if that's all you can do, start there, work your way up, because this is passive income. If you can get 2 million, if you can get 20 million, and you can 2 or 10x your passive income,
Yeah, definitely. I was playing around, I have the new site I'm working on, and I was playing around with a few of the calculators today, just kind of checking the math, make sure it's calculating correct and kind of going through all that stuff. And I was playing with the rewards calculator that I have built into it, to where you like type in the amount of PTDC you're holding and the amount of PTDC you have staking, or also for people if they're thinking about getting a position and they're like, hey, I'm thinking about getting a shark, or I'm thinking about getting a dolphin, or I'm thinking about getting 100 million tokens. They don't even need to know the sea creature sizes, right? They could literally just type it in, and then what they can create is like hypothetical volumes in the future. And what it has in it right now is like what the volume is today, but maybe you're like, you know what, this is what it is today, but I think in the future, Pulse Chain is going to be up 100x. And maybe that's not in the next 6 months, but maybe this is in 4 years. But I'm willing to be along for the ride that long. And then what it does is it kind of tells you the estimated volume at that time if we have 100x the volume, because Pulse Chain's up 100x, which I see very modest, because if you get all the data from the past, and you actually have this on slides, is every time Pulse Chain has gone up 2x, our volume has actually increased more than 2x, right?
Yeah.
So all the data actually pushes towards the idea of volume will increase more than the price of Pulse Chain. I like to just use the price of Pulse Chain because I know that's going to increase the liquidity by that much, and then I know market makers will need to fix that much more amount of value, which then is the volume. But the point is when you just put in a number, which obviously isn't cheap, but like, you know, I put in like a shark position, and
Okay.
I was like, you know what, let's see what the volume is going to be after 100x this price. This is in the future, or what I was simulating was, you know, $10 million in volume daily, which, you know, is like 100x what we are at right now. We're at like $100,000 a day. 10 million would be 100x.
Yeah.
Where I'm getting at is, you know, the passive income that was being received on this size position yearly was a full-time job, just a shark position.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And if you can get double a shark, that's double a full-time job.
100%, you know.
You double your income, double your pay.
And the thing about it, though, is that's not the price appreciation that we're talking about.
Yeah, right.
That's the additional tokens the project is giving you on a yearly basis for being in the system. So you can actually hold your...
We lost you, man.
The next cycle, or, you know, the next year, if the system actually becomes what we believe it is, a true store value system, and it can actually keep increasing over periods of time, you know, then you actually are able to go, you know, if you're willing to hold for the first few years, or whenever Pulse Chain gets to that 100x, or our volume gets to that 10, you know, now the system is just paying you to keep the rest of your bag. And then you're now able to, you know, let's say it's $100,000, what the number is, or it's $50,000 a year. Now you're able to take that $50,000 a year, live off of that, and keep your store of value investment and let that appreciate again. If that just 2x's again, or the volume 2x's again, now you're getting $100,000 a year. If that just 2x's again, now you're getting $200,000 a year. And then that's hyper deflationary, that constantly is getting bought and burned and getting pushed up. But you're holding the price up, which is just making it push up even more. You know what I mean? Because you're not having to sell it, better your life, you know, to buy a house or buy a car or go on vacation. You know, all those tokens are technically like locked away. So it's just, you know, I think we're going through a growing phase right now, where Pulse Chain is back at these levels, and we're even at some levels that are somewhat low, which is just great opportunity at these levels. You know, some people are deciding to take profits, but it gives us the opportunity to kind of do one last round. It's like, hey, does anyone on Pulse Chain want to get a position in this for cheap? Does anyone in real life want to get a position in this for cheap? Because when it's go time, these positions are going to start to disappear really, really quick.
I saw a post on Twitter today. It was from a couple days ago. This Hexagon posted, and I didn't recognize him. You wouldn't know him. I almost screenshotted it and sent it to you, but I'm like, nah. But the guy's like, man, I've been in Hex for years. I've been an only Hex guy, and just today, I got my first bag of PTDC, and I'm happy. He was happy. I'm like, yeah, man. But you know, truly, I think we're after the no coiners, the people even and the people that are on other chains. Truly, I mean, the Pulse Chain people, Pulse Chain community has had a lot of exposure to PTDC, or a lot of time to get exposed to PTDC, and yeah, they're absolutely welcome over here too. But I think the harvest is in the people that are coming over to the chain.
Yeah, I think we'll have a lot of success there. And I think it would actually be very good for our ecosystem to expand in those directions. Actually, the in real life people, even if it's just $1,000, with the success of the product, by giving these guys an amazing experience. These people aren't connected to socials. These people aren't trying to get into the next thing and then trying to get into the next thing and trying to get into the next thing. These people are going to be very, very happy to just be exposed and be along a ride of this specific program. Some people will go down the route and then make, more decisions in the future and then look into this. Like, there is those people that kind of do go down that rabbit hole, but a lot of them just want to set it and forget it. Why do you think people put millions of dollars a year in diversified investment accounts with their bank? They could very easily diversify and buy stocks on their own, but they decide to do it with their bank. Why? Because they just want to set it and forget it. They just want to carry on with their life and pay the professional to do so. Obviously, with crypto, you have to have self-custody, or you should have self-custody, I should say. But we can make it easy for them and show them the good projects that we've done our research to and we believe in. And this is kind of what a lot of people want to just do anyway. It's like, okay, oh, cool, it's going up. Like, now my $1,000 is $10,000. Like, I might have someone, especially if you educate them that it's really community driven. Some people want to help. Some people like, oh, wow, I can make even a difference in this. I'll tell a buddy, I'll tell a friend.
Yeah. I have not even looked at, I've been looking at the charts today and seeing lots of green, but I haven't looked at the ratio of PTDC and UFO all day, maybe early this morning, but I'm about to go look. Do you know if we're up against Pulse Chain today or not? I'm curious.
I don't really know if we're up against Pulse Chain. I know we're up in general. I think we're maybe up against Pulse Chain a little bit.
Okay, we're about to find out. I was saving it. No, actually, from yesterday, if I remember correctly, it was like 6.2 pulse per. No, it couldn't have been. Well, yeah, it could have been because we had a little knife up. But we're in the same range as we were yesterday. 6.2 pulse per PTDC, but the trend is up. We've been up for 2+ days now. Let's see how much we're up against Pulse in the last, about 50 hours. We're up 14% against Pulse since, looks like, would that be Friday night, I think?
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I've been seeing a few new buyers pop in there. I think in the last week, 2 weeks, we've picked up another 100 holders.
Okay,
so that's nice to see too.
Yeah.
Just for everyone listening, if you don't know, our goal by the end of this year is 18,000 holders. So we're still roughly, I think, 1,400 away, so 1,400. But, we're obviously trying to just make steps in the right direction every single day with a major focus on in real life onboards.
Yeah. Yeah. And they don't have to be big. They don't have to be big buyers either. The thing of it is you go through your Rolodex. And I mean, if you have limited time and all you want to do is focus on the bigger buyers, that's a great way to do it too. But you can practice on the smaller ones. Like lady across the hall, she's like, I'll toss $50 at it. I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend the time, but I might just to get a wallet because her and one of my buddies is the only people I can really think of to get in. But yeah, you can start with the smaller buyers and work your way up to get practice on the smaller ones,
Yeah, even for the smaller ones, maybe you say, hey, just get me lunch a few times and I'll send you some tokens.
Yeah. Yeah. This lady has bought me coffee a couple of times. She surprised me, bring me coffee. So maybe I'll use that as an excuse to spend an hour and get her some crypto. But it wouldn't be worth doing a hardware wallet and Coinbase and all that stuff for what she's talking. Hopefully Hopefully it's more than 50
you know,
bucks.
the hardware wallet would cost more than 50
Yeah.
bucks.
I'm like, every day I come here, I'm like, lady, you have no idea what you're missing out on. I said, like, there's no urgency. You know, I spent 2 hours with her one day, 2 hours at my computer showing her all this stuff. And she was lit up. And ever since then, her urgency just dwindled significantly. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I'd say that's anything.
yeah. So, oh well. Duffy Slice and Sank says, "What up, dude? PB and Zen, always listening and forever grateful to you guys for this most excellent financial product and all the hard work that y'all put in on the daily." Well, you are welcome. You're welcome, Duffy Slice and Shank. So, yeah. Anybody want to come up and talk? Anybody want to come up and chat? We got like, even back when I was a kid, like you'd call your buddy on the phone. It was just you and him or you and her. Now we got like us and 15 other people. Oh, what else is happening? Go ahead.
Has anyone seen Twitter?
What, Twitter?
RH latest Twitter.
How long ago? Because I'm looking it up right now.
I think 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
Ahmed. It's pretty disappointing. I actually really disappointed by his comment. It's very glib. It's really glib, actually.
It's glib. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Maybe he just doesn't understand that BTGC is not the same as any other reflective token. Reflection token.
Okay, let's see. There's one from October 26th, October 23rd. Yeah, his latest, he's got one pin from May 6th. Let me share the screen here for you guys on YouTube. And then Richard Hart, his one before that was yesterday, October 26th. Shout out to Pulse Chain for helping gas fees be so low.
Yeah. I think it was like 25 minutes ago.
I just pulled up Twitter. I'll refresh it just to see. Get your eyes on it and make sure you got the correct account.
Okay.
Yeah, I just pulled it up too. I don't see anything from them in the last day. The last one was that one about the Ethereum gas fees being so low, which I won't lie, I'm so shocked about how low Ethereum's gas fees are right now.
Me too, man.
The load on Ethereum has drastically dropped, and it, even with their upgrade that they did, it's just still so low. And what that really tells me is there's just, even though like price is so much higher, right? Price is over 4,000. And what that tells me is, everyone buying Ethereum coin right now is just people, or not people. It's not retail at all. It's institutions that are just buying and they're just holding Ethereum. This is not retail that's getting into alt tokens or anything like that. There's very little activity going on Ethereum right now.
Oh, that's a great point. Okay, let me summarize what you're saying.
The same situation could happen with Pulse Chain, right? If a lot of value just went into Pulse Chain and just kept slowly pushing Pulse Chain's price up, but there wasn't people speculating, there wasn't things happening, fear things, excitement things. Just because the price of Pulse Chain moving up, that doesn't mean there's a lot of network activity.
Right.
There's just been very little network activity on Ethereum.
That is so true. That is very true, man.
Kind of goes back to the fact that it's like, alt season isn't even close. The amount of users using blockchain right now is just so little. We see spikes. I'm trying to think of when the last spike happened where Gwei just shot up instantly. I think it was a liquidation event that happened.
Yes.
Maybe it was something else.
It was the liquidation event.
So you see it spike up. You see that GUI spike up when people want to interact with the chain. It's just very little people are interacting with chain right now.
Yeah, man. I had never seen fractions of a GUI before. I'd heard of them, but right here in front of me, 0.07 GUI. What? Where was that 2 and 3 years ago? Wow.
Yeah, I even remember 2 years ago, like it being amazing if it was under 10 GUI.
Exactly.
And this was at the bear market. Keep in mind.
Yeah. Yep. I'd be getting up at like 3 and 4 o'clock on a Sunday morning to transact, just because the gas fees were cheaper, or early Saturday morning on the weekends, early morning, disrupting my sleep so I could do some stinking crypto on Ethereum.
Yeah.
Especially before
100%. I think that's just a huge indicator. And obviously there was the upgrade that they did that did help this, but it didn't help it this much. Let me tell you that. So,
okay.
It's just crazy to me, like, to even think like where we are right now. But retail is not here at all.
Absolutely.
And one thing I think that's big to bring in retail is there has to be that like winner that really starts to retail. And it's not ETH really going to 2x all-time highs. And I think that does onboard people. But really, like last cycle, what really was onboarding people, in my opinion, is when alt tokens were doing large amounts of X's in short amounts of time. And in real life people that you see on the street were turning $1,000 into $50,000 in a week and within a month. They're literally changing their lives right in front of other people. And I think Pulse Chain has the possibility. I think PTDC, our sub-community, can do this on our own, right? Just by us onboarding in real life people to our specific asset, getting our own walled kingdom. Just because we're on this blockchain doesn't mean we can't set up walls and say, hey, out there it's pretty crazy. Like, we're going to make this a thriving kingdom in here where everyone's winning that's in the walls. Like, obviously we're going to have the issue of people trying to get at that value and try to sneak in the walls and act like good people or try to get value out of the walls. But we can build them pretty high. In real life, users, they have no idea what's even going on outside in Pulse Chain and in social media and stuff like that. They're like some of the best people to be within these walls. But just that being said, it's just super interesting that GUI is so low, retail is not coming in. I think some serious tokens need moves, and in real life people, like average people's lives, need to start being changed. I think PTGC is a great one for this to happen to people. Like, that sparks energy, that sparks onboarding. Pulse Chain could spark this. I think the problem with that is Richard's MO, he likes to wait for something else to spark it, because when the retail flows in, he puts himself right in front of them.
Yeah.
Right? That's when he throws the advertisement, the door's open. He doesn't want to be the one opening the doors to all the people. He wants to be the one ready with the sign saying, hey, I got the best product.
Yeah. And he does.
Sorry, could I just say something again?
Yeah, shoot.
Sorry, I stand corrected. I got that mixed up. It was some guy called Pulse Chain 365 pretending to be like Richard Hart or something.
No, it's
I don't
not.
know why people do this.
Yeah.
He's got the same
It happens, dude. It's fine.
Profile. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad it was false, man. I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
that's not fun. So I'm glad you were wrong. I'm sure you are too.
Yeah. I don't know why people do this.
Yeah, I know. You really gotta have your radar up for falsehoods, especially with AI nowadays, because you got false images, false voices, false videos. My wife and I watched a video on Saturday. It was like a 10-minute long YouTube video, and the lady was AI, and you could tell. But I had to explain to my wife. It's like, at first I was like, this lady's AI, you know that. She's like, oh. It's just where we are right now in history.
By the way, the space last Saturday was really great. That lady, Kim,
Mm-hmm.
she asked such really good questions for, someone that's just finding out about PTGC. But very clever.
Yeah, she was tuned in and clearly intelligent.
And I hope she comes back.
Yeah, I'll reach out to her.
Yeah, it would be great.
I mean, I don't even think she may not know that we have spaces regularly, so I'll let her know. I was thinking about her earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, one of the big reasons we even started doing these spaces in VCs, a year ago, was to give new users, when they come to the chain, a place to come and hang out and learn about this protocol, because it is complex, and there's no way that you're going to be able to pick up on all the features, plus even get your questions answered by just kind of scrolling and reading. Like, you can really get a lot of ground covered by just hopping into these spaces for 30 minutes. Just the kind of interesting and funny thing is, like, there just hasn't been new users coming to this chain.
Oh yeah.
For pretty much since Genesis. We've had groups, and we have people coming in, single, like her, randomly came in, and it's so active and so fun. So I'm just excited for that to happen in groups of 10, 10 new people coming into Pulse Chain and being like, whoa, we have a list of questions. Because that's the funny thing, is that's really what these spaces be, is for these new users coming in, a place for them to get their education and their questions, and not only answer questions about PTTC and UFO, but also be helpful in all aspects of Pulse Chain and crypto if they have questions about other things as well. Via, our speakers are knowledgeable in the space, so not only answer PTDC questions, but Mando was answering a lot of questions then, and he's been in Hex since day one, so he can answer tons of questions about Hex, Pulse Chain, PulseX. So I think we could just be useful and helpful to a lot of new onboards to this chain. Just the thing is, there's just not too many at this point, but we're ready, and I think the space on Saturday shows that, and you're 100% right, Romeo. It was a great time. We had great questions. It was definitely, in my opinion, one of our more entertaining spaces that we've had recently. So, I think of what should be in the future with, our own success, with us with our in real life onboarding, which with a lot of them not necessarily coming to our spaces. But you know what it does, in my opinion, is the in real life onboarding, even if we're not bringing them to socials, in real life onboards create green candles. And that sparks conversation, and that puts PTDC back on the radar of people who are on social media. It's them asking questions.
Yeah. What I liked about it is the aspect that I see with particularly female investors. They're very cautious, but they ask questions and have a perspective that sometimes men wouldn't see, and it speaks to I know what you always say, Zen, a lot, like you want PTGC eventually to be seen as the ultimate store of value, like you've alluded to. If Bitcoin had, was deflationary and earned its own supply and all the good things about PTGC that we're always talking about. And I get the feeling that some of the ladies that are into PTGC see that it's actually the safest thing in a way.
Interesting.
In crypto.
It's safer than a lot of other assets on Pulse Chain.
Yeah. And then it has the quirky, like she alluded about the alien thing, and she was like, "Oh, the dogs, that's not the thing anymore." And I'm interested in aliens, and she could see the quirky aspect to it as well.
Which was interesting too.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I wonder, the alien aspect has such kind of longevity as well. It's not like just a flash in the pan thing like aliens, as you say, always say, or they've been with us, that kind of narrative since the 1960s or whatever.
sure.
Yeah, I actually was thinking about that question after we got back, because I get that question a lot when we're talking to people who aren't in PTGC quite yet. Like when they have their questions, we're kind of giving them rundown and the product rundown on PTGC, and it always kind of runs into that same question, like why the aliens? Like what made you pick that? And I think I was thinking, like, what is the good answer to that question that like answers it in a more simple way? Because I can kind of list the things like that my mind went through, but the question is or the answer isn't almost what my mind went through, but the question is, or the answer to their question is more like, well, why are you asking that question? So the only reason you're asking that question is because it stood out to you. And that's kind of the answer to the question, is because it did stand out to you. And mostly everyone, if you ask them, like, hey, have you ever just listening to some documentary, something on aliens or on a television show, have you ever watched about that? And usually the answer is yes. And it's just funny because everyone always brings up that question, like, why this? And the answer is more like, who asking? Are you interested in them? And the answer is probably like, yes. And it's like, well, that's why. It's pretty simple.
Polygon makes a valid point of, on the topic of women in the grays. He says that he thinks that women sense the genuineness from you guys, the team, if you want to put it that way. And I have been told that. I've not about all of us, but I've been told that from females that we seem trustworthy.
That's
interesting.
A really, really, really good point. And I've always got that sense from you guys. And I know we don't like to talk about other projects, but sometimes I get the feeling, I've said this before, that some things on Post-Chain are not that professional, but I always got the impression from you guys that you're very, very professional.
We sure try. Good name. Good name is, I'd rather have a good name than all the PTGC that exists, man. A good name will go further.
That's great.
Yeah, I won't lie. Banana's like awesome for that. Like if Banana's someone that I could literally send my mom to get help with PTGC, and I would know she was in amazing hands. You know what I mean? It's just, that's what I have so much confidence in with Banana. Like you said, it's obviously these are people over the internet and there's only so much trust there, but like literally the feeling I get with Banana and why I feel so grateful to have him here next to me is I know if I get that feeling from him, most likely other people are getting that feeling with him too. And I think that's why he's so valuable to this team. And I think everyone that interacts with Banana enjoys his company like tenfold over. So just so you know, Banana, I think you're like, if people feel that, I think that's because of you.
Thank you.
All of you guys.
Yeah. It goes. It's you too, Zen. I'm going to tell you. I hear it from other people. I heard it from somebody last week, man. I can't remember who it was, but yeah.
Yeah, and I see Mando listening too. He's a good example as well. Whenever someone wants to learn about PTGC, I know I can send them to Mando, and they're going to get a great professional experience. And that's the same with Banana. It just feels good to have people on your team that you could lean on and just know that they're going to get a great professional experience on whoever you're sending over to them. I think it makes us very powerful. I was talking about even the in real life onboarding, right? Within crypto, even like assets that are within your well, I'll even say like even some assets that are within the PTZC web that we generate revenue off of, like not all of those assets are assets that you could completely feel comfortable with bringing to like your family and friends. Like I think there is only certain assets that stand out to be as being a product that you can actually in real life onboard with. And I think that's one of PTGC's most powerful parts is it has so much going on. It has so much reason to exist, so much utility, it has so much product market fit. It actually can be one of those products. It's not so much even about the code only. Like it also has people like Banana educating on it too, which is also necessary for complex systems. And the fact that he is professional, it gives it that legitimacy that you kind of sometimes need for these in real life onboards. It's a lot more difficult to say, hey, let's $1,000 in this dog meat, you know.
We're probably attracted to this this ecosystem because it is so solid. You know, you got the burnt liquidity, you've got the contract that has been running flawlessly for over 2 years. You know, and I think that perhaps the users tend to be a reflection of the asset. You know, maybe that's one of the reasons that people are attracted to the grays is because it as a smart contract has extreme integrity.
That's the word. Yeah, integrity.
You know, it's not, and it's a multi-cycle token. It's going to be here for as long as Pulse Chain exists. And I think that's one of the reasons that that women find it attractive too. It's less speculative. You can still be in crypto and speculate on crypto, yet, you know, some assets are less speculative than others. You know. Snowflake Society agrees with our conversation. Shaq O'Neal, PTDC is the unicorn. It's the unicorn. You're right, Shaq. It's the unicorn of Pulse Chain. It's the checkmate. Checkmate. What else, guys? Quiet spaces tonight. You know what's funny is that, you know, we've had pumps in the past, and suddenly the space is just full of people. And it's great. And I kind of thought that might happen tonight. And it's fine that it's quiet, but I just think it's where we are in this cycle. Everybody's broke, tired, disappointed, confused. You know, we might even be a little bit confused. Like we're supposed to be full on, like well above SAC price right now. Well, obviously not, because it hasn't happened yet. So, yeah.
Yeah, one thing I in the last couple of days worth bringing up is there's been some pretty volatile assets in the last couple of days on Pulse Chain, which, you know, is almost great for our system. It's also somewhat great for PulseX in general because the volatility usually is involved with volume. You know, if it's a larger token, obviously like a meme coin with barely any liquidity, if that's volatile, that's not a lot of money needs to flow through it. But if larger tokens on chain are volatile, usually there's a lot of volume flowing. And if there's a lot of volume flowing, there's more buy and burning happening, etc. I think even the Pulse Chain Stats official account wrote that yesterday because of the volume. Pulse Chain was actually deflationary yesterday. On chain, Pulse Chain turns deflationary. So that's something to look forward to in the future as user base picks up and as the amount of transactions happening and, you know, as the, you know, overall interact increases. This actually helps the burn of Pulse Chain, and the inflation rate of Pulse Chain is less than Ethereum. So again, leaning back onto like the sustainable metrics that Richard put into his chain, like mathematically, we are really set up for success here with at times a deflationary blockchain. But going back to what I was starting the point as is, you know, there's been some volatile assets on chain, and most people kind of have to just watch all that happen and don't benefit at all from it. But our system has actually had some decent volume days in the last 2 days because of this. So it just kind of shows, our web system just doing its thing and us generating revenue off of it. UFO got a little bit of action today from one of its liquidity pairs, and we got like 7K in value generation just from UFO. So, it's 1,000 bought and burned, et cetera. I can actually go to the exact numbers if you guys want. But then even yesterday, we had some action because there was like this PDI flash crash and then it bounced back up. And again, most people are just along for the ride, but it just shows how powerful and strong our system is, how well our utility works, because we were able to generate thousands of dollars just off of those volatile shifts, just like how the blockchain somewhat benefited as well.
Extra PulseX said that his X account got suspended, but he's going to be streaming on YouTube soon. Reach out, man. Reach out to me. I'd like to chat. Extra PulseX.
Yeah. Does that mean maybe if he's listening, is he not making a new X account? He's kind of just letting that go and then going to hop over to YouTube? Or did he make a new one that, we can pay attention to?
Yeah. Drop your new one in the chat. If you have one, Extra PulseX, do you hear that? Go ahead and reply if you want. And drop us your Twitter account so we can follow you. He said he's going to be bold. He said he's going to.
If not, well, go ahead.
Oh, he said he's going to be bull posting. And that means that sounds like Twitter to me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, even if he's not hopping back on Twitter, once he makes that YouTube account, we'll make sure to follow along with what he's talking about.
Okay. Yeah. He said he's going.
Go ahead.
He said he's going to YouTube, waiting it out. Oh, I see. It's suspended, and he might need to wait for it to be not suspended.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, I get it. He's waiting for it to clear. He doesn't want to start a new one.
Yeah. Oof. It's like, yeah. Well, my YouTube, I think, is going to be demonetized. There's something to do with the payment or something like that. I've been trying to figure this out for almost a year now. They're like, we're going to suspend your Google AdWords or whatever. And I've tried to fix it like 4, 5, 6 times, even use ChatGPT. There's no help. And there's nobody I can call. There's no Google help, no YouTube help desk. Probably what I need to do is get some other eyeballs on the problem. Because honestly, if I'm not monetized, if they demonetize me and whatever, and I'm not really concerned about it, except for the algorithm, I need to be monetized so that YouTube pushes our content to new eyeballs.
Prairie, maybe if you talk to B-Roots, I know B-Roots has had problems with Twitter and stuff in the past.
Okay.
I don't know. He had
well,
before we got them resolved.
Well, my issue is with YouTube, though.
Oh, YouTube. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I know some content creators, but it probably wouldn't apply to you. They switched countries they were living in, and it messed up. YouTube didn't like it, but you're probably still in the same state.
Yeah, I haven't done anything that I'm aware of to trigger whatever I triggered. But it literally says, huh?
Is it paid through Stripe? Is it paid through Stripe?
Yes. That doesn't sound familiar. It just says at the top of my YouTube channel, it says your Google Ads account is suspended. And there are 2 buttons, fix it or dismiss it. And I go to fix it because obviously that's where you should start. And it like gets me nowhere. It's so frustrating. I don't even want to deal with it because I know when I have to deal with it, it's going to be like a dead end. It's like one of those circle things. You get into a circle, like a loop. There's like no resolution and you keep going in circles. That's what this is. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But at some point I'm going to have to figure it out. I just don't know what to do.
Yeah, I would say Reddit's probably your best spot for that.
Okay. Thank you. Good call. I'll try that.
Yeah.
Good idea. Yeah, I was sending screenshots into ChatGPT, and it was pretty helpful, but it didn't bring it to a resolution.
Yeah, I bet you it's on Reddit. Reddit's great for stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Backwards Hat Dad offered to help me out too. Thanks, man. I'll remember that. Well, what else is happening? Pulse chain broke through a little bit of resistance earlier today. But the resistance wasn't from very long ago, I'll be honest. It was, looks like about maybe 3 weeks ago. It was on October 2nd. So yeah, not too bad. Almost 4 weeks ago. But it broke right through it. It's sailing on past. I don't know what the next resistance level, I guess the next resistance level would be back in mid-September. And that level, by the way, is 46.58. Right now, we are at 36.75.
Yeah, I won't lie. I'm actually pretty happy to see Pulse Chain back up. It's 4036. I think that's some pretty good ground cover in last weekend.
Yeah.
Was it been like green for 3 days straight or something like that now? So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think we have to celebrate the small wins. I'm definitely just glad to see Pulse Chain now working its way back up in this right direction. I think ETH made a nice move over the weekend too, which was good to see. So let's, hope the market flips right back in our favor instead of, swimming against the current like we've been doing for another few months again. Let's see if we can get this shifting in our favor again, because I felt like we're rocking and rolling. We got PTGC from, I think, 4 zeros, or no, not 4 zeros. The ratio 6 to 1, so 6 pulse to 1 PTDC. And then right when Pulse Chain started rocking again, we got ourselves all the way back up to 20 to 1, right? So we did like a 3 something X against Pulse Chain.
Yeah.
When Pulse Chain started moving up again, and then sadly, all of Pulse Chain kind of hit that brick wall of sell pressure, and it kind of just all, and it wasn't just Pulse Chain, it was the whole entire market. It was like ETH hitting that all-time high level, and then Bitcoin recovering back, and we recovering back. But for us, I kind of look at it like, oh, darn, that kind of sucks. But then I'm like, wow, look at all the value we've gotten to generate again at these levels. We now are back at 10 billion pulse in the marketing wallet. So we now have pretty much 10 billion pulse ready to go again. We've been doing buy and burns for the last few months at these low levels. We've been paying APY. So let's just, all these discounted levels are just more onboarding opportunities for us, more places to earn cheap PTDC, as long as everything gets back to those levels again, and hopefully much higher. And actually, if we go much higher this next time, that growth is so much more sustainable. We're talking about the distribution on the spaces today, just seeing how strong our distribution has been becoming in the last year. And at this time last year, I didn't think we were going to have this opportunity in this cycle, right? Like I thought by this time we were going to be going down into next cycle, bear market, if that makes sense. So the fact that we've been able to spend this whole cycle distributing the supply before what we believe will be the alt season this cycle, or at least a Pulse Chain season this cycle, I think it's just great for the sustainability for the project. And then it obviously gives us opportunity now at this level with 2 years of information to onboard and educate in real life users, other blockchain users, and even Pulse Chain people. Like I still even think there is a group of people on Pulse Chain taking profits of PTGC and just left with profits, but could get back in if we got it in front of them and said, hey, good job making some money, but if you want to get back on the ship now that you have seen what this thing can really do, we're at a massive discount right now on Pulse Chain. I think you mentioned you saw someone on Twitter saying, hey, I'm pretty much only a Hex and Pulse Chain guy, but I finally on this discount dipped my toes into PTGC.
Yes. And now he's earning more PTDC.
Yep.
Do you remember where it is that we see the volume increasing on Pulse and PTDC? And I hope you don't say it's on one of my slides because I can't find it. Is it on look
Where
into?
we see the volume increasing?
Yeah, you were talking about at the beginning the spaces how, and we've seen this in the past, that when what was it? When the volume of PLS increases, the volume of PTDC increases even greater or something like that. I just haven't seen
So
the.
I know you have a slide for it, but I also have that on as well. But your slide definitely showcased it really, really well. I remember you showed price and what the average volume was last year at this time, and then you also showed what it was this year, right? And we saw the increase of volume with PTDC, the increase of price of PTDC, but pulse chain was actually lower.
Okay. Well, when we stream about the stats for October, we'll have to remember to key in on that slide so I can get a refresher on it. I'll be getting all that data together too at the end of the week, and so we'll stream on it next week, guys.
Hey guys, on that Saturday stream, I was kind of in and out. Did you guys onboard that lady who got the mail-in tablet?
She was already on Pulse Chain, but she is brand new. She's been here about a month. I don't know that
She was on the stream, right? Or no?
Yeah. She jumped onto our spaces, and we just called her up just because we recognized her as a new person in the community, and we asked her.
She's a perfect example of somebody in crypto that is completely new to PTGC. I only got part of it, I think, but it sounded like she was asking a lot of good questions.
She was. Yep, she was asking great questions, and by the end of it, you could hear the tone in her voice had changed. She was very interested in PTDC, very interested in what she heard.
Yeah, I don't know if we like legitimately onboarded her. Like, we don't know if she got a bag or not. She didn't say if she did or didn't, Snowflake. But I think it was definitely a great step in the right direction of actually properly educating her on the protocol. And now it's on her radar, and she's probably watching it and keeping an eye on it and seeing how it performs. And I'm sure eventually she will become a community member. I think the goal of PTDC is to become a system that's so large that like eventually everyone will store value here eventually. Like, if it proves to just keep appreciating more than all of the other large assets on chain, more scarce, and then have more liquidity and pay you APY, like, that decision just be easy for anyone. Like, hey, I'm on Pulse Chain, I want to store value. Yes, there is a fee in and out, but PTGC's track record is a 2x over every other large project because of their code. So the 5% doesn't mean anything because it's outperforming everything by 2x of their size. So, even if we didn't get her that day, I think, she's properly educated. She understands the system more than she did. So we, did good.
But you're right, Snowflake. She's an example of the people that are going to be coming over to.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard me, Snowflake. I was saying, like, it's funny. We started doing these spaces and like the VCs and the Telegram to help new users get educated on PTDC and UFO. But just since Pulse Chain's launch, we haven't had a ton of new users coming into Pulse Chain. So we kind of just spent the time just chatting and educating who we could and who does flow in here. But that space, I think her questions were great. It was very productive. It was educational. And I think that was just a glimpse of when new users do start to come into Pulse Chain, and that's partially on us. We're partially responsible for bringing those new users. It's not just on other people. That's why we have that in real life marketing push that we're doing right now. But that was like a little glimpse of like what those spaces are going to look like. Hopefully in tenfold. Hopefully we have 5 people up all shooting their questions at us, and we're educated and having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the fact that we have this type of community, you don't see that much of this community on other chains.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Snowflake? What do you mean, say, this type of community?
Educational, welcoming. I mean, you do have it, but normally I've listened to a few other communities, and it just doesn't seem that educational.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I was at a local new sports bar that just opened up in my area yesterday. What's that, Zen?
Sorry, my phone's not muted.
Yeah, anyway, I met a nice Sicilian gentleman at the bar, and he ended up living in the next subdivision for me. Him and his brother are massive traders. His brother made like 450 G's on a trade last week alone. And they just started dipping their toes into crypto. They just opened up a Coinbase account. He's got like 25 grand of Ethereum. And I was like, yep, that's a divine appointment. So we're supposed to be getting together here this coming up week.
Sweet.
Him and his brother have a lot of moolah.
Oh, nice. Bingo. Good job, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're in a massive company in Phoenix, Arizona that sources teams of electricians for a massive corporation. And one lives in Phoenix and one lives in Texas. But yeah, they're big traders on the stock exchange, and they're very eager to get involved with crypto. So it's kind of interesting.
That's awesome. I look forward to hearing about that one.
Mando, did they tell you what part of Sicily they were from?
He did not tell me because I did not ask, so I would not know. But my family's from Palermo, and
cool.
so you end up, he's 100% Sicilian. He was telling me about his dad that he had to take care of that just recently passed away, and kind of his old school stories in Phoenix that we don't even talk about here, but definitely some good guys to bump into, higher tier type people.
They, I've driven around the whole of Sicily twice. And the nicest people you could ever meet. And when they emigrate, they work really, really hard.
Oh, absolutely. They're the last people that look for a handout. The last people in the world. They got too much pride to do that, man.
Yeah. And they're just very, very stand-up people.
But it's very interesting what's happened. I would say just over the last 4 days, something strange is going on all around.
Okay.
Well, what do you? I mean, go on about that if you're willing. Like, what are you sensing? What are you picking up?
Well, Post-Chain broke out of its downtrend and has broken up. But more than that, I'm just noticing the volume on chain and the token prices on chain. Everything is starting to. It's the classic. You're in all the boats next to your buddies, and the tide is rising, and you're seeing the tide rising for all of your buddies' boats. You have that classic trend of Pulse Chain's broken up over that, over that downtrend. And we're starting to see a bunch of people with large accounts that I've never seen before talking about Pulse Chain. And they're not like fake accounts. They're legit accounts. So that says to me that there's a new form of marketing going on for Pulse Chain. And just the momentum shift, the sentiment shift, it's one of the primers, one of the greatest indicators of a shift is the PTGC ecosystem. Because there's kind of a delay for the PTGC ecosystem once Pulse Chain starts to go. But we were just sitting at about a $50-something million market cap, and now we're headed to 70 million. Like, we'll probably be at 70 million any time now, right? And from there, you're at 140 million again. So that's, that is a definite momentum shift that's happened in the last 5 days, not just in one category, but in almost every category.
Cool. I think you're not the only one that's sensing it. There's a bit of a buzz around, like almost like we've been let down so many times. Maybe this will be the last time. You know?
It's not so much a sense because they're quantifiable things that you can see. It's not like it's something. It's not like an omen. You can see it all happening, right? So it's definitely happening.
It is. Yep, I've seen some of the Twitter, the tweets. I'm like, how many followers does this dude have? And he's promoting Pulse Chain suddenly. Wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, the cores are moving up pretty quick. Just at a nice, they're starting to move in the trajectory that I would like to see it move, for a very natural uptrend over the course of 3-4 months.
Okay.
Like Zen talks a lot about, if you just see the cores moving up, 10% a week, these nice movements up, right?
Yes.
So it's definitely moving like that right now. Hopefully we can keep that trend going.
Well, Inc is up 9%. Hex is up 15. Pulse Hex is up 10. Let's see what else we have. Pulse.
These are on the daily?
Yes. And, Pulse is up 8%. And PTDC is up 6. UFO is up 4.
Yeah, I think PTGC is up more. Like I keep seeing like on Dex tools, like it's not being accurate right now for some reason. How it's, it pulls up a certain percentage 1 minute and then another minute it's a different percentage. It's very strange at the moment.
Okay.
I think that Dex Tools is updating at the moment.
Yeah, I think it also is pulling constantly from like the day completely prior. So if the day prior you had like a good move up, but then like that came down a little bit, even though everything else is moving up, just because you had kind of a wick up exactly like 24 hours away from that. Does that make sense? It's kind of like when you have a wick down and then you're making your way up exactly when you get 24 hours away from that wick down, the percentage up on that day looks massive. But really it's just because you had a wick back at the same spot. You get what I'm saying?
Sorry. Yes.
So I'm guessing that's what it was. I think we had a few decent buys come in when we were outperforming yesterday. And what I'm guessing is we're like maybe close to that 24 mark from those buys, which maybe got somewhat corrected by, natural sells or maybe arbitrage bots or, whatever's going on.
Prairie, can you pull a line? Sorry, Zen. Can someone pull a percentage line from where we bottomed last and how high we are up from the bottom? From the last bottom?
Yeah.
On Pulse Chain?
Okay. Yep.
And that should be like within the last couple of weeks, right?
Okay. That would be like October 17th.
That's where it bottomed.
Yep. And I'm not going to see that. I'm going to see a full body candle close to where we are right now, we are up 38%.
Okay, so we're up almost 40% from the bottom for Pulse Chain.
Yeah.
And what about for Pulse X?
1 second. Let me get this on the daily. Pulse X bottomed on the 17th. I'll go from the bottom of the full body candle up 37%. The same.
Okay, so I'm assuming Hex is probably going to be up like what, 50%?
Oh yeah, good question. Let's see. Let's see if I can get. Okay, we're on the daily 17th measuring tool. Yeah, 44%.
Yeah, so if you just put in 50 grand into Hex, you're almost up 25 G's. If you hit that bottom. I mean, that's how quick the thing starts to have momentum. If we double again from here, you're going to start having some excitement.
Yeah, it's only been 11 days.
Yeah, 11 days. So it's been 11 days, and you're getting an average of almost 50% gain.
Yeah.
And do you have can you poll for me? And I don't mean to be taking over the space, but
You're fine.
I'm at my gym standing outside. Can you poll where we're at for PTGC? We're from the bottom of the last bottom of PTGC. Where are we at?
Yeah. Okay. Same time, about October 17th, like 11 days ago to today. We're up 37%. The same as Pulse and Pulse X.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a beautiful thing.
It is. I mean, we're holding that 6-to-1 ratio on Pulse. We've been holding that for, I don't know, several weeks.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Able to hold it, distributing supply even better. We're earning rewards and becoming more scarce. We're buying and burning tokens and also filling up the DAO at the same time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the DAO's got like what 10.1 billion Pulse now in it or something.
Pretty much 10, but yeah, 10.5 or something like that. Or no, 10.1. Yeah, 10.1. You're right.
Yeah, man. Jeez, we hit sack rate. That's a bag of over $1 million of pure Pulse chain.
Yeah, man.
That's freaking nice.
Yes. I posted up on Twitter today. Go ahead, Zen.
Yeah, this timeline is a little off because I don't have 10 days, but we're talking about how we moved up the same exact Pulse chain in the last couple weeks. But, in the last week, PTGC has generated $31,000 in value. And in the last 30 days, it's generated $138,000 in value. So even when we are moving in lockstep, there is some stuff going on in the background that is, adding value to our ecosystem. Even price moving up more, it's building up the PLS in the DAO. It's paying our community extra APY, the rewards, and it's also buying and burning the asset as well and adding LP.
Yeah, that's why I always say there's always a delay because you don't always see we don't initially see the pent up energy within the system because it's not always being deployed at any specific time, right? So, it's obviously better to be strategic, but the fact that we're basically just lockstep with the average of the cores, which is just pure reflexivity plus whatever buys and sells, but we're generating all that money. We're getting all that APY. We're getting a lot of coins and miners out of there. And the system is just stacking a ton of Pulse chain. So my thing is if we see over the next 14 days a similar move, we want to see it, kind of get into those higher levels. The 409 is where I'm really going to be getting excited.
Right.
When we get to that level. But that's when PTGC, you missed your entry point at that point for where we're at. I mean, not missed it do you know what I'm saying? Now is the time at 409 pulse. PTGC is going to be a much higher price.
I also feel when those levels get broken, Mando, I think that will be somewhat of a confirmation. Well, you hope it's a confirmation that
was
we
it.
never come back to these levels again.
It's very well could
not
be.
just PTGC, not just PTGC. I mean, just pulse chain in general. If we break the 404 resistance that's in front of us, if we break the 406 resistance level that's in front of us, and then we break the 409, there's a solid 3 support levels at these bottoms again. And I think very much what you're saying could be true. That could mean hey guys, we're never coming to those levels again. And if we start seriously going, we're going to put a lot of support levels between us and these lows.
Let's hope that's the case, my man. I mean, if it is, congratulations to everyone who's in PTGC.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
So I posted on Twitter today in reference
Congratulations to everybody who's on Pulse Chain.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fred. Go ahead.
It's all right, man. I posted on Twitter today, and this would be in reference to what we were talking about, the Dow having over 10 billion PLS in it. I posted on X, one of my slides, PTD, and it's a representation of PTGC in sea creature positions, right? So we have PTDC holds 2 shark positions of EHEX, 3 shark positions of most, 3.3 whale positions of your mom, and I don't know what that is, 5.7 whale positions of UFO, and so on. And UFO has its own chart here, but and the context of the post was that I may not be a shark in hex, but I hold a token that is. And then you can take that a step further, and it just hit me when you guys were talking about the Dow. I may not have 10 billion PLS, but I hold a token that comprises a Dow that has 10 billion PLS. Yeah. And it's powerful.
Well, what's powerful to me is that those positions generate revenue. They're all revenue generating income streams for the holders of the Dow, for the holders of the token. I'm sorry. And, I'm just so much hoping that this is a move that continues in a very natural way that we're seeing right now. But the thing is that the revenue generation, you can see it in the amount of APY that starts to come in, and you can see it. I remember, I don't know if Sen's still there, but I remember when we were generating so much pulse chain at one point in the last cycle that got really good. That we couldn't even put the proposals in fast enough to generate it, right? Which that's a very good thing, by the way. And so you talk about pulse chain sitting on 10 billion pulse chain. Well, the system can start generating that kind of revenue very quickly. Now, it doesn't mean we'll have 10 billion pulse chain. We'll have more than that. But in terms of the same USD value, when the system turns on, you're sitting on 10 billion pulse chain, but then the system's, you're not generating, 50 million pulse a day, 100 million pulse a day in terms of USD value. You're doing 3, 4, 5, 10 times that. So, like, once the thing turns on and the revenue generation turns on, that's when people's eyeballs start popping out of their head. And I'm telling you, because most people have no idea about this. Even people that own PTGC, they don't watch it like me and you and Zen. So I just remember calling Zen up and laughing. I'm like, dude, this is This is 100% proof of concept. This is what everybody in every corporate company looks for, is that proof of concept. And when it was coming in that fast, it was like, oh my gosh, when pulse chain starts to go, it's game over. I think Zen probably remembers that.
Yeah, I was telling Banana earlier, Mando, I was playing with one of the calculators I'm working on for the new site, and I threw like a couple sharp positions in there. I forget exactly the number I used, and then I was just playing around with the volume, right? Kind of like we do with the reflections. The new site I have kind of just adds it up for you, makes it pretty easy, and I was using that number, the 10 million in volume, which I think is like a 70x in volume from here or something like that, which is, a seriously successful PTGC and pulse chain. But like, obviously, I think a lot of people that are here believe in pulse chain being seriously successful. And what this shark position was producing for just that user in passive yield a year was like $70,000 a year. And that's $70,000 a year without them having to sell any of their asset. They can actually let the asset appreciate year after year. It's an asset that is able to do that. So even if they want to live off of the asset, they don't have to compromise the growth. And by them not compromising the growth, that helps everyone's asset grow even more. And, it's fun to speculate in the future what positions that are actually obtainable today could turn. Obviously, I'm more excited for us getting to those levels, but we've seen in the past, every time pulse chain has woken up, we've seen PTGC's volume more. And Banana, you were just asking me where those numbers were from. I for sure know you have a slide, but on the new site, I do have a chart that shows that. In the last year, pulse chain is down 20%, but on today, PTGC's volume is up 150% in the last year. So just that data point right there is proof that even PTGC's volume is actually naturally increasing against pulse chain. And a lot of these examples that we provide is just even movement. But we've even proven to move higher or more extreme or multiplied than just the even movement of pulse chain increasing and assuming our volume would be the same.
So
if that happens, real quick, let me just finish the point. If our volume starts increasing faster in multiplies than pulse chain, like if pulse chain does 10x and then we're throwing in a 50x, this is going to make the APY super, super attractive. Go ahead, Mando. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry, man. I thought you were finished with your thought there. I just wanted to say I really like the just keep the stereo off just for 1 second. I really like the reality that the protocol we've been able to, over the course of the last, I don't know what it's been, like 3 months or so, 4 months, I don't know, just sit here and just stack pulse chain and just stack revenue. I don't know, it's been 2 months, 3 months, I don't know. And the reason why that's important to me is because it really just allows the community to see what the real market is without any capital injection, right? Where holders are valuing their tokens, at what levels, how far down is the community willing to sell these specific tokens, at what levels. And when you have the ability to deploy a lot of money to prop up a chart, but you don't, and you just allow the natural market to take over, not for a week, not for 2 weeks, but for months, in a very bad environment, it says a lot. It allows me to see what the real market is, and the fact that we've been able to come down here and really just maintain a 6-to-1, and now we've accumulated all of that pulse chain, and everything's starting to tick up in a natural way. That's very impressive to me as an investor. The fact that we've just been able to just really weather that downtrend and really show not only all of you, but everyone else on the chain where the graze actually falls. Because when you're not deploying that capital, you're just allowing the market, the free market, to value the actual token. And you don't see that a lot, where you just, hey, if you want to get rid of your tokens at a certain level, go ahead. We don't give a damn. Right? So there's a lot. It also says a lot about the belief in the token and the protocol, and the belief in what we think the value actually really is. So I think that's a good thing to talk about. And, you don't have a lot of those things out there in crypto where you've got 2 years of something like this, and you've got the ability to prop up, but you don't, and you actually allow the market to see what the token's true value is. I think that there's a lot to be said about that. And I'm glad we did it.
Josh T is asking how much funding the DAO has available to support the chart when needed. We have 10 billion PLS presently. Spectre just bought another bag of UFO and PTDC. Congratulations, Spectre. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, like I said, man, I think I'm about to onboard a couple big boys that I met at my local sports bar last night. Big traders. He made 440 G's in a trade last week. So, Sicilian guy. I'm just sitting there. He just literally comes and sits right next to me, just starts talking to me out of the blue. We sat there for 3 hours drinking beers and exchanged phone numbers. So, yeah, I think that's going to be – these are, good guys. So we'll see how that one works.
Yeah, I think it's going to work. I can't see him not putting a little bit into PTDC, at least, and a little bit for him. Yeah, he is to be congratulated.
Is Zen there, or is he?
He might be busy. I'm not sure.
No, I'm here. I'm here. I was actually trying to get this calculator back up on my phone so I could tell you guys the exact numbers for the rewards, but it's kind of hard to use on my phone.
Okay. Oh, for the rewards
I think that's super awesome, Mando. Like, that's not only something, obviously, if you bring him to PTGC and UFO, that would be great. But in the example of if he came into PTGC and UFO, also just amazing for Pulse Chain, because that's value coming over to the bridge, and anyone buying PTGC and UFO has to get Pulse Chain first. So they have to push the price of Pulse Chain up for everyone. Everyone actually gets to win by in real life onboard, and then the other these awesome levels, and then he's up 3x in the next few months, let's say. Well, by the sounds of it, this guy's obviously probably somewhat talkative and has connected, being pretty friendly to you.
and you guys hit it off, he might tell some people at the bar the next time he's out, or, you know, he might have other trader buddies who want to be exposed to this amazing opportunity that we have here on Pulse Chain. So, you know, you never know what that one in real life onboard could actually turn into. I was giving them an example of my weekend that doesn't really compare to yours that well, Mando, but I sent the text out to 3 of my buddies. You know, I also wanted to check in with them to see how their life just kind of gets you. And I was like, you know, I'm going to check in with them. I'm also just going to bring up that, you know, if they want to learn about crypto, they know I'm involved with it. I'd be happy to show them and then expose them. In obviously being PTGC and UFO. And one of them was like, hey, I am interested. You know, right now I'm only trying to have $1,000 to do. Are you willing to help me with 1,000? And it's only $1,000, but he's someone who has a decently successful business, and it's a business, and he has really good connections with his clients, and he's got a great attitude. He's got a great personality, and he's someone that would DCA. You know what I mean? If he gets in with $1,000 and he has a great experience, like price starts slowly moving in the upwards direction, he doesn't have unrealistic goals. He's someone that will DCA as he makes money throughout job, very similar to like Tiger King or Tiger God, how he kind of does the job, he takes a little profits and brings it to Pulse Chain, and then does a job and makes a little profits and brings it to Pulse Chain. This could be like a very similar thing, probably less extreme, but like that. And the thing I was getting at is this guy has such an amazing personality. He's so talkative. He loves communicating with people. He's someone that would be just a great in real life community member that's not on social media, that's not, you know, sending tweets or coming to spaces. But next thing you know, he could onboard 10 more people with $1,000 once we teach him how to do it, and he actually gets to experience a great product and a great experience because of price going up. Like, that's kind of what I mean when I mean great experience, because I know the product's good. I know our community's good. You know, Pulse Chain kind of creates like a waiting game, it feels, with onboard sometimes. But if they get in and things start to move up, like obviously these people are going to be like, wow, this is awesome. You know, I'm not someone that's been exposed to crypto before. I've never put $1,000 into something and it turned into 1,500 in 1 week.
Yeah, this guy, he's been making a ton of money in drone stocks. I mean, literally, when he showed me the charts, I was like, wow, he just crushed it, right? But interestingly enough, he had just recently started to get into crypto, got his Coinbase, bought like 25 G's worth of ETH. He's all pumped on ETH, you know? So it was just a happenstance thing. But that's the in real life stuff that's going on. I'm like, hey, you know, if it's coming my way, why not? But I agree. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I think, you know, I think a lot of people still are waiting for just a little bit more of an uptrend confirmation. Like I said, like that 409 area, you know, once you start going up there, it's like, okay, I think we really got an uptrend here starting to go. Between now and that level, the people who do get in, if Pulse Chain's about to do what, congratulations. What we still have to watch and see.
Well, gentlemen, has it been a day?
I think it's been a day. We've been going for an hour and 40 minutes or so now. I think we can shut it down. I was trying to get the exact number for us on the rewards, but the mobile app isn't fully set up like the desktop version I was using earlier, and I don't feel like getting out my computer to type it in. So I'm just going to let it go.
Sure.
Maybe I'll make a post about it or something.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
What's up, Ken?
What's up, team? Mando, just off the back of what you were saying as well, just thought I'd add my 2 cents in, as always. You can't shut me up.
Oh yeah, come on in, Coon. Come on in.
Getting these no coiners on board, it's a bit of a process. So out of the 5 that I mentioned a couple of weeks back that I started speaking to, there's one that is very keen. He's got 100K capital ready to go. So that's what 100K Australian is about 60, 70K USD. But he's like a no coiner at all. So he wants to make sure that he gets into his Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I've explained to him, where the market's at with Bitcoin and Ethereum and the potential for, if we are in the cycle, the remainder of gains on those particular items and where they could end up in a year or two and the discounts he could get on those, but then showing him Pulse Chain ecosystem and PTGC as well. So it takes a bit of time. Like I've got him, he's getting his Trezor over the next day or so. He's getting signed up onto CoinSpot, which is the main Australian exchange, which is safe with all of our banks to onboard, on-ramp your dollars from your bank account. So all of these sort of steps take time, but eventually you do get there with these individuals who are very keen and when they hear out your experience and what you've gone through and where these assets are sitting now and, the current price levels that they could get them at, they start getting very excited. So this one gentleman, he's, probably about 4 to 6 days away from getting him into crypto. And
Did we lose him?
Yeah, I lost you too, Coon.
I lost him. Coon, it sounds like we lost you, brother. Well, that's awesome. Amazing. Coon said he was going to do it. He's doing it. So, amazing work.
yeah, sorry guys, I dropped off. But yeah, man, exactly that. It just takes time and there's no coiners. You got to get them set up properly on cold storage wallets and, proper account setups, and it takes a bit of time, but you get there eventually.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time. It doesn't take a lot of time. It takes a little bit of time, but once they're in, man. And go on to the next one, And, I just find that you just kind of let God just bring into your path who he's going to bring. You can get into your phone and start dialing, You can just pick up the phone and start text messaging. You'll run out of phone calls. You'll run out of telephone numbers at some point, but
Yeah,
you just find that just natural conversations come up, man. I mean, pretty much think about it. Everywhere you go when you meet people, what do they want to know? Well, what do you do? And it's pretty much all, how the hell do you make money? It's like one of the most common conversations you're ever going to have. So there's a lot of interest in crypto, much more than people think. And, regardless of where we're at in the cycle, that really doesn't matter to a no-coiner. They just want to learn something new. But yeah, that's awesome, Coon. Good job on that, man. All right, brothers, I got to take off. I'm just getting back from the gym. But hope this momentum keeps going, and, let's see what happens, guys. Looks starting to tick up. We're up on average 45% over the last, what did you say, Prairie, 11 days? So
Yep.
let's hope this thing keeps slowly ticking up.
Thanks for hopping in here, Mando, and thanks for showing your in real life onboarding experience. I appreciate it. And Coon, thanks for sharing your in real life onboarding experiences as well.
Yeah. Thanks, Ken.
All right, guys. I'm ready to shut it down. If no one has anything else.
Yeah. We're good, man. I
Sweet.
think.
Okay. Yeah. If anyone has any questions or comments, I will have my show at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We normally just go through some stats and then just have some open conversation. It is usually only an hour. So if you do have questions or comments, obviously get there not after an hour because it'll most likely be shut down.
All right, Zen. Thanks for showing up, man. We appreciate you being
See
here.
you guys.
See ya. All right. Ladies and gents, that's a wrap. And we'll see you, like Zen said, voice chat tomorrow. Vote on PLS Folio. Vote on Deck Screener. What else? Got lots of voting to do. I guess that's it. All right, guys. Have a good night. See y'all later.